Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates, and today is updates, and updates. There are a lot of products that have been updated, so stick around. If you are interested in any of my tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator or simply interested in supporting the channel, consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below. All right, so first coming out of the gate is once again the Inibuilds A350 has been updated. This is now version 1.0.7 and adds more new features to the Airbus. To begin, the Inibuilds has added a new air stairs as a ground service option, controllable via the Onboard Information System, or OIS. This feature is only available, however, when GSX has been disabled. So it's not an addition to GSX, it is in place of GSX. The feature or this update also sees further SimBrief integration. You are now able to create a flight plan directly through that OIS operation again. So again, directly from the cockpit, you are now able to yet in another manner create a SimBrief flight plan. The reason why I say another manner is because, as you guys may or may not be aware of, Navigraph has also integrated a SimBrief integration directly with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you're using the SimBrief toolbar, you can now use this in lieu of directly from the cockpit on the aircraft on what I'm basically designating as their EFB, but they call it the OIS. So you can either do it from the toolbar, directly from Navigraph, or you can do it directly from the cockpit on the EFB, which I think is pretty slick. It's definitely going to add further realism to that situation. So that is a very nice thing. The flight plan is then generated through SimBrief and loaded straight into the aircraft. So that's the other kicker there, is that you won't have to do your flight planning directly on the MCDU anymore. Once you complete it in the OIS, it sounds like bam, it just drops directly into the system, so you're done. And then finally, last but not least, the update also sees a reintroduction of the engine and pitot cover. So when you're doing your walkarounds, you'll have the ability in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 to remove those as you do your walkaround. MSFS 2020 users, obviously that can still be removed from inside the cockpit, again, using the OIS. The Inibuilds team shared that this is an addition. This addition is part of a larger effort to make the A350 compatible with Microsoft Flight Simulator's 2024 Career Mode, obviously providing more steps that are going to be required in the aircraft to do so. So, very slick way to do this. I really appreciate their efforts here. On top of that, just like in 1.0.6, there is a ton of bug fixes, sound enhancements, art enhancements. I'm not going to go through the whole changelog, but I highly recommend you guys check it out. If you haven't purchased this aircraft, I said a long time ago before they released it that it was shaping up to be probably one of the most advanced and feature-rich aircraft in the simulator, and they are staying on par with that. As with each new update, it already had a ton of features and updates, or features and capabilities that were approaching the most complex aircraft, but with each update they're also adding more and more and refining the aircraft more and more. It's truly shaping up to be one of the best model planes in the sim. So if you guys have not picked it up, you can pick it up for, I believe it's right around $70 US, I believe is what I paid for mine. And then of course, if you already own it, make sure that you update it, because it's one heck of an update once again. Next up on the update list, another fantastic series of aircraft. We have the COWS DA42 and DA40XLS have also been updated to version 1.2.0. So there's quite a few changes with this one. So the DA42 series contains changes to the FADEC, ground effects, icing, braking input behavior, among other things. Version 1.0.4 for the DA40XLS contains a lot of improvements and changes to the fuel system, as well as braking input behavior, as well as other things to it as well. The updates for COWS aircraft are available right now through Orbix Direct. That's where I purchased mine as well, and did download it. And the braking that I saw was, it was a smoother braking. As far as the FADEC improvements from the pilot perspective, I didn't notice a whole lot, but there were a couple things that we did see a difference in. You have improved startup, improved ground shake under load, fixed the reduced rudder deflection, so the rudder is more responsive now, which is a good thing. Improved stall behavior, I haven't tried that one yet. Increased flap lift, so you're going to get better performance from the flaps, which is nice. Reduced the ground effect, so she's not going to float quite as long as it was. Let's see here. Fixed some fuel consumption inconsistencies. I don't fly long enough where that was ever an issue for me, but if that's something for you guys, then obviously that's a good thing. Ice will no longer accumulate on the ground. I wonder why. Why can't ice accumulate on the ground? Anyway, digress. I mean, in a moisture situation, wouldn't ice accumulate on the aircraft on the ground? That's genuinely asking. I'm not being a smartass, by the way. They removed the flight sim brake input curve, removed and replaced the FS brake stiction, and removed unusable fuel. There's also a new gyro and cage system for the flight systems, and then on the DA, that was just for the DA42. The DA40 is even longer with just as many of the same and more fixes and improvements to the aircraft, both in flight modeling and systems. They are spectacular planes. The DA40 XLS, I have the most fun in. There's just something about it. I don't know why. What's really neat about it is it's a stick flying aircraft versus a yoke, so makes it kind of more fun, especially when you're using a HOTAS like I typically do, as it's easier to switch from aircraft to aircraft, especially if you're going from fixed wing to rotor. Just flying HOTAS just makes it a lot more simple, but it really depends on the scenario. But they're both fantastic aircraft, you guys, and their price so reasonable. I believe that we have the price here. Yeah. $46.25. This is Australian for the 42, if I remember correctly, and $40 basically Australian for the XLS. So it's really not bad, and they are absolutely worth the aircraft. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, you can pick them up on Orbix Direct and then use an Orbix Central to install it. Is the easiest way to operate those. Headwind is providing some new images of their upcoming SU95X add-on that's currently in development for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The latest previews give us a look at the autopilot panel as well as some of the wing details. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. They're quite impressive. There's a lot of detail being put into these. You can see here the images shared by the developers show the close-up SU95 cockpits with specific focus given to the autopilot and control panel. If you guys look at the detailing that is done on these, everything from the rubber up on top to the detail that's being put in the switches to the shadowing, there's a lot of effort being dropped into these. This is definitely going to be a very gorgeous aircraft. Obviously, you can't speak to the performance until you're in it, but as far as the images that are being shown here, the flight deck alone, I think, is going to be, and obviously where we spend most of our time, is going to be a nice soft sight on the eyes, if you will. The autopilot panel that they've shown so far looks absolutely gorgeous, so they've really done a fantastic job here thus far. Let's check out the wing images that they included as well. So again, here a very stunning look, matching what the expectation for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is, but you can see a lot of detail in the reflection and all of the control surfaces and all the mounting points. So right down to the rivets that you can see going up and down the wing. It definitely looks very, very gorgeous. They've done a great job as far as the visuals of the aircraft go. Again, what will be the tell? The tell will be, how does it fly, right? That's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. But the pictures are definitely beautiful. They definitely seem to be putting in a lot of work and effort into this aircraft, so it'll be nice to see what it looks like when it finally reaches our hangar. So again, that is the Headwind Simulations preview pictures of the SU95X coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Sky Simulations DC9 gets updated to version 1.3. And this is for both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 as well as 2024. After a troubled launch, Sky Simulations has listened to the community and released the version 3.1 for the McDonnell Douglas DC9. The 3.1 update features bug fixes, improvements, enhancements, including refining and adjusting the flight model dynamics, completely revamping the autopilot, so a whole new autopilot, engine performance fixes, fuel management fixes, internal and external animation fixes, windshield wiper fixes, strobe and navigation lights, texture improvements, contrails, and other effects. Windshield de-icing has been refined and functional, and many other details have been retuned in the aircraft. 4 new liveries have also been added, including Swiss Air, Northwest Airlines, Pacific Southwest, and AirTran. This is definitely an aircraft that brings much more of a nostalgic look to the simulator. These kind of aircraft very much so tend to catch my attention. Where did I go? There I am. Tend to catch my attention because I find them to be much more immersive, because you're busier, I feel like, in the cockpit. So I really do enjoy these types of planes. However, I had held off also purchasing this aircraft, as when I first started seeing reviews on it, they unfortunately were less than favorable. As they said, a very troubled launch for this aircraft. I am going to pick this one up. This version 3.1 seems to do a lot to the plane. The changelog is quite extensive. If you guys are interested in reading it, you guys can find that on their website. But this is definitely a very big change to the aircraft that has me sort of more optimistic, especially with the revamped autopilots and things like that. I mean, autopilot is sort of one of those crucial features for any kind of commercial travel. And so, I mean, no one wants to be flying hands and stick the entire way. Gosh, that would be horrible. But you guys catch the gist. So I will be picking this aircraft up, finally checking it out. I like the pusher aircrafts. I think they're cool. They're a lot of fun, especially when you're flying short hauls, like I tend to do. I don't get into the real long flights because I don't usually have that much time unless it's in the middle of the night. So I really enjoy these kind of aircraft because they sort of fit where I am able to A, produce my content, and B, where I have time to fly. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll let you guys know how it goes. A real quick update from the flight recording software, Flight Control Replay. This is an absolutely outstanding flight control software if you like to do your replays. They've done a very good job making sure that their integrations truly showcase the entire aircraft and its performance. So they don't just sort of grab everything from the sim. They actually, especially with the more premier aircraft, or highly detailed aircraft, I should say, they tend to really make sure that those aircraft are specifically compatible with their software, so it captures all the events and creates a seamless replay environment. Now, it's not just about replay. You can use this to practice your approaches and things like that. You can save a recording at a very specific location in a very specific aircraft with a very specific configuration. Say you're on final for LAX and you want to practice your approaches, maybe doing visual or Cat 3, whatever you're wanting to do. And this is just any aircraft, really. You say you're doing the infamous St. Bart's runway 10 approach, and you're trying to get that glide slope, that 5 to 7 degree glide slope down. This is a great way to simply click a button, bam, you're back where you were, and you can try again without having to do your full circuits if you don't want. So on top of just being a replay service, it offers much more functionality, and they have now included the Inibuilds A350 as one of their supported aircraft. So again, with an aircraft as complex as the A350 is, you have that ability to set yourself up in a particular location, or just share your replays with your friends, or redo a flight from a specific location. So it's a really, really handy tool. I really appreciate this one. And again, as you guys can see up at the top, it's available for both 2024 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. This is a payware add-on though. So for example, there are a couple of other freeware flight recorders, but they're not quite as advanced as this one is. This one definitely is, it really depends on what you're looking for. I would say this one shines when it comes more along the lines of single aircraft recording, and you're not trying to do anything else outside of that. SkyDolly is another really great one that's a freeware software, but it offers the creation, for example, of formation flying. You can actually duplicate your aircraft. So let's say you were in a plane in SkyDolly, you can do loops in your tracks and things like that. And then if you wanted to, you could have or a SkyDolly create another aircraft doing that exact same circuit, and then you would essentially fly in formation with that aircraft. So it really depends. And I don't think this one can do that. I don't remember. I've never used Flight Control Replay for that purpose. I use it very heavily when it comes to doing my guides, for example, because it saves all those other parameters inside of it, and it's far more accurate when it comes to replaying a specific part of the scenario that I need replayed. So anyway, you guys can purchase this on the sim market, or you can go to flightcontroltools.com and grab it from there as well. It is a very, very powerful software if you guys are interested in something like that. FlightFX have updated the P180 from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to version 1.2.1, and this update is live via the marketplace and includes a number of general improvements along with some new additions to the aircraft. So real quick overview, you have the over torque alert now only triggers when the engine damage is turned on, ice warning now displays, flap positions now sync correctly when spawning on the apron, they fixed incorrect flap entries in the FMC. Status page no longer shows a ghost on the second page. So a bunch of system fixes, things like that. Nose wheel steering keybind is now fully functional. Ground and anti-collision lights logic is now corrected. So little fixes that are quality of life, and then some new additions. They have the altitude alert has been added, emergency landing gear deploy handle has been added, fully functional comm panels, luggage doors, CAS messages, taxi and landing light keybinds, condition lever cutoff keybinds, and they've removed the unused COM3 and NAV3 radios. So a quick update to this aircraft. This aircraft is another fun one that I'm going to have a video coming out on this week. This is a really cool aircraft. It's really fun. A pusher turboprop. Very sleek, very, what's the word I'm looking for? A futuristic sort of look to it. I can't think of the name that I'm thinking of, or the word that I was trying to think of, but you guys catch the gist. I do have this aircraft. I have flown it multiple times. I was waiting for a couple of fixes because things that I didn't like about it, and some of these are those. So that way I can fully configure it into my cockpit. So anyways, hope you guys check this aircraft out. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to fly. It's a really cool turboprop. And again, that whole pusher design just creates a different aspect of flying in this kind of scenario. All right, and a real quick update out of the house of BeyondATC, my personal favorite ATC service. I absolutely love this program. So they have completed their community vote on what the next new feature is for BeyondATC, and that is going to be GSX integration. So let's talk about what that's going to bring. This is just a real quick recap from BeyondATC. GSX integration is automatically starting GSX with BeyondATC's gate allocation. Additionally, we would investigate the potential to pass pushback path integration as well as synchronized taxi instructions. So that's awesome. Seamless turnaround is allowing you to start a new flight after arriving at your gate, allowing all traffic to remain intact and removing the need to close the program. And a queued button replies, allowing the user to submit requests via a button control while the comm is busy with traffic speaking. So, pretty awesome, short and sweet, but BeyondATC continuing to shake things up and push forward. I really, really recommend BeyondATC. I love it. I love that it's a one-time purchase. You're one and done. The only thing you ever have to do is if you want to use the premium voices, you have to refill that gas tank after you use them, but it is not required. Basic voice operation is always available, and it's a one-time purchase, so no subscriptions necessary. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found some useful information, or just excited about some of these aircraft updates as I am. There's going to be a lot of content flying out of this channel this week. We have a lot of things coming. We have more from American Truck Simulator flying our way. We have some logging simulator stuff coming out of our way from Farming Sim 2025. I'm going to be setting up a bunch of group and community actions such as American Truck Simulator convoys, group flights, and Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're going to be checking out I want to set up a logging community server for FS logging or Farming Simulator 2025. We have a ton of new hardware still coming down the road to review and showcase. Some new products coming out of the Virpil warehouse, Flight Sim Factory, and others that I'm really excited to show you guys. There's a lot coming. DCS World is coming back to the channel as well. We're going to be doing less combat and more stuff of why I think that I have been a big advocate, for example, that I've told people multiple times, even if you don't like combat, there's a lot to do in DCS World that you may enjoy, especially I think for anyone who is a rotor head. If you like flying helicopters and doing cargo lifting and transport, we're going to be showcasing a lot of that stuff on how you can literally pick up crates with the helicopters and carry them from one point to the other. The Chinook, the Huey, tons of really cool stuff. We're going to be doing things like air-to-air refueling, carrier traps. I'm going to show you guys some of the advantages to using DCS World, even if you're not into combat. You don't have to do combat to enjoy DCS World. The flight performance and flight models of the aircraft are absolutely amazing, and I just really want to showcase that, especially for helicopters. I still personally believe that helicopters in DCS World are better than that of Microsoft Flight Simulator in terms of the flight modeling. So anyway, a lot of really cool stuff happening. There's a lot happening here on the channel. There's a lot of content coming down the way, and I hope you guys stay tuned and enjoy it. As always, folks, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.